Zobo, the homemade drink also known as hibiscus tea, is said to have many nutritional contents. But amidst the praises sung in the name of Zobo, there are some who are of the opinion that no matter how beneficial the Zobo drink is, it may not be suitable for everyone. Amongst the people who are advised against consuming Zobo drinks are pregnant women and lactating mothers. In the month of November 2023, the claim that Zobo drink causes miscarriages resurfaced and it was widely shared. Tonight on Top Talk, we're joined by an expert in the field, Dr. Adebanjo Isaac, resident doctor, Department of Obstetrics Gynecology at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital. He helps us separate fact from myth. All right, Dr. Brown, so it's good to have you. Good evening.
Thank you. Good to have you here.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes, in 2 years, I think.
Yes, how have you been?
Fine, thank you.
All right, so let's get straight into it. I'm sure you're aware of the claim. The claim is that Zobo drink causes miscarriages in women. So I don't know if you can give us a background before we delve into the direct answer. First of all, the Zobo drink, first of all.
Okay, well, Zobo is usually from the leaves of the flowers of the hibiscus plant. So it's used to make a local drink. Actually, the Zobo drink is one that across all of the continents of the world is used, although it has different names across all continents. However, locally we call it Zobo. Basically, it's the hibiscus leaves that are used to make that drink. Now, there have been claims and reports that this Zobo drink might be responsible for miscarriages, which is the loss of pregnancy before the pregnancy is viable enough or the baby is able to survive outside the womb. Due to some of these claims, some research has been done. Now, this research were done, they're animal studies, they're done using rats. The conclusions of majority of this research showed that they caused preterm labor in some of these rats because they sort of induced the womb or the uterus to begin contracting ahead of time, and so they lost those pregnancies. So those were in animals. And so some of those studies have now been extrapolated to human beings, and then advice have been given out that, okay, people should not take Zobo or hibiscus drink during pregnancy.
So is there any conclusive answer in that case? Because what people want to really hear is it true or not? Is there any way we can conclusively answer the question? Because I believe there have also been talks about or let me understand, is every research automatically valid, or there are levels to each and every?
Okay. The strength of the research actually varies, and in this particular case, conclusive evidence, you cannot say with finality that those studies that were taken on in animals can be 100% replicated if they were to be done in human beings. You understand? So, and because these studies have not been done on human beings, cannot say for sure that Zobo drink will have the same effects on human beings. You understand? However, you can understand the ethical dilemma in conducting such research on human beings. First of all, who will you recruit for a study that say, okay, we'll give you Zobo and see whether you have a miscarriage? Nobody will sign up. Well, people might sign up, but you can understand the challenges in conducting such a research on human beings, and of course the ethical conundrums that might ensue. So we cannot say without a shadow of doubt that Zobo causes miscarriages in human beings. You understand? Zobo, naturally, Zobo is a very healthy drink. You understand? That's most of these drinks that are made up of natural fruits. You understand? So it's normally a healthy drink. In fact, there are some studies that have been done in some parts of Africa about Zobo or the use of hibiscus leaves and how it boosts the red blood cell during pregnancy. You know, one of the complications, most common complications of pregnancy is anemia in pregnancy, where the red blood cells are depleted. However, in many studies that have been done with Zobo, we've seen that Zobo was seen to increase the levels of red blood cells in the participants. However, those studies did not look out for the chances of miscarriage. So there are no conclusive studies in human beings that can say that, okay, can have miscarriages due to the fact that drank Zobo.
So does this mean, you know, speaking from a researcher's point of view, this is something that can only be proven if you took actual pregnant or lactating mothers or thereabouts and did the study on them? There's no, I remember back then in school, there sometimes when you are looking for a result, you might not go directly, but you know, this is what's going to lead to this, and then you go after that. So is there any avenue where it is something that could be looked at or conclusively answered without having to ask someone to come and try if their baby will die or not, or their fetus?
Definitely, the only way that we can tell what Zobo does to human beings is to give Zobo to human beings. You understand? However, as long as studies have not been done on the effects of Zobo on human pregnancies, we cannot say for sure. We can only assume that this is what will happen. And mind you, you know, rats have small body surface area. So which means that the way they metabolize drugs is not the same way that we do.
Sorry to cut in there. I don't know, has it ever happened where studies done on rats thereabouts, you know, were informed decisions for human beings in terms of if there wasn't any human test, so to speak? Has it ever been okay or enough to use what happens with rats to extrapolate?
Okay, yes. In the pharmacological industry, there's people that pharmaceutical companies, the ones that make most of our drugs. In fact, most of these vaccines, medication that we have often start from clinical trials. And the clinical trials, a lot of them initially start from animal trials. You understand? So by the time they give a drug to animals and then they see the effects, and that the effect is wonderful, the next step is to take it on a limited batch of human beings. Of course, that's the first. Then they will widen the net to include more human beings into the research, and then of course test it in the general population. You understand? So definitely, animal studies are in fact, they are the backbone of clinical research. But like I said earlier, there becomes an ethical dilemma when the research, the result of the research is like a negative, you have a negative conclusion. For example, now, if I'm testing a drug for cancer and it's curing cancer in rats, I may want to test it in human beings because that's a positive end result. But if I'm testing a drug that can cause miscarriages and is causing miscarriages in rats, I will be reluctant to want to take it out on human beings because what I got from the rats was not really encouraging. And of course, nobody wants to lose their pregnancy.
But does it ever happen where those studies, what's the word now?
Yes, it does.
It worked well for us, but it didn't.
Yes, many studies where trials have been conducted, and then there's some efficacy in rats or even other animals, and then the same effects could not be duplicated by the time they were human studies. And sometimes it may not even necessarily be that they could not get the same effect. It may be completely different effects. For example, now there might be a particular substance might be beneficial to animals, and then when they test it on humans, they'll start seeing other effects like maybe kidney damage, liver damage, you understand, which they did not probably see while they were doing the animal studies. Because like I said, there are still differences in the metabolism of substances between animals and human beings.
Right, that's fair enough. Before we delve into this, what we usually, divide these fact checks into is true, mostly true, false, mostly false, or unproven. So if you had to pick a category for this, if someone asked, does Zobo cause miscarriage in humans, would it be true? Would it be mostly true? Would it be false, mostly false, or would it be unproven?
It's definitely to be unproven. You understand? As long as there are new human research, is unproven. You understand? So as it is now, it's just suspicion at best. It's just a suspicion that it might cause miscarriages, because there are lots of pregnant women that take Zobo without any deleterious effects. And interestingly, in the social media, there's a lot of funny stuff about Zobo, and some people talking about using Zobo as a form of contraception, as a way of even preventing pregnancy. That's a very, very dangerous thing, because anyone that decides to take Zobo as contraception can as well decide to start antenatal.
I'd like to know, are there dangers to these claims? Someone might feel as though it's just an off chance comment on social media thereabouts. But I'm wondering what could be a real life consequence of some of these claims, unproven, false, or otherwise, spreading online?
Okay. Well, the way I'll go about it is this. In some women, what this might just cause to them is that they may get pregnant thinking that they can use, let's say, Zobo as a way of inducing a miscarriage or inducing an abortion, which of course most likely will fail them. You understand? So it might lead to unwanted pregnancies. And already Nigeria has a high level of maternal mortality, which is death of women while pregnant. You understand? And one of the leading causes of maternal mortality in Nigeria is unsafe abortion. So of course, what causes unsafe abortion is unwanted pregnancies in the first place. So someone thinking that Zobo protects them against pregnancy, so Zobo can flush pregnancy, can cause them to fall into charlatans. You understand? They get on pregnancy unwanted, and then they try to use Zobo. Of course, that will not work, and then they have to go and meet quacks that can damage their reproductive career. So that's on the one hand. On the other hand, taking Zobo or not if people decide not to take Zobo, of course that will not affect them. If people say, okay, I heard on Twitter that Zobo is not good in pregnancy, and they don't take Zobo, and they're eating healthy, it will not affect them. Understand? It's like someone saying, it's just that they've taken one food off their menu, but otherwise it won't affect them. But what can be more dangerous is when people advise people to do things in pregnancy. You understand? Because when you do things, then you can have an effect.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Bansi, for doing
Thank you for having me.